Hello there, welcome back to the channel. It's Richie here from Dowie After Dark, and in this video today I am going to be showing that I took the dwarves in the X-Force to a 44-person tournament and managed to do quite well with them. It's the same army that I took a couple of weekends ago to a team tournament, so I'm not going to talk about my list, but it is down below. It was quite a fun list. So with the Expeditionary Force, it's basically just gyrocopters, a couple of ranger units, and then some artillery, which the main trick with the artillery is the fact that it's all been upgraded to move, so it's quite fun to use. I was really looking forward to going to the Forgotten North event. It's something that I've heard about from a lot of players around the UK, and it's the biggest northern tournament that happens in this country. So unfortunately, it was a little bit of a mish to get up there. I think I left my house at 9 o'clock in the morning on the Friday, and I didn't get up there till about 7. I did have a little pit stop at Warhammer World en route, so it wasn't just traveling the entire way, but it was a very long time to get up there, as it was quite a far way up north, but it was definitely worth it. Scott and the team who run the Forgotten North event have done an absolutely amazing job with it. It's such a well-run event. There's 360 room around each table, so you can walk around. There's even little tables next to your battlefields so that you can put your armies on or put your books to open, which is a really nice touch. The fact that there was a bar open in there as well definitely helped.
The night of stone, we march so bold, with our sharp and hearts so cold. Through halls of old, our vengeance sparks in shadows dark. It's Dowie After Dark. Grudges held for years untold, and ledgers kept where blood runs cold. In caverns deep, the drums they roar will settle scores in dark.
I have to say that this is probably one of the best events I've been to, and it was really, really well run. Something else that I would like to say is that the caliber of player at this event was definitely very high. There was a lot of top ranked players from the UK at this event, and there was also a few members of Team England that were there as well. So we kind of had to perform, right? I know what everyone's going to say, you've taken a skirmish list, this isn't real Warhammer. But I think compared to some of the stuff that's absolutely crazy in this edition, I don't think that skirmish units that are toughness 4 with a 5-up save are probably that bad, as they absolutely get smashed by any other shooting or magic missiles. So bearing this in mind, I knew that I would have to be relatively cagey in most of my games, as my army can absolutely just disintegrate to poison shooting, magical shooting, or just any kind of shooting actually. So you kind of got to play the X-Force very cagily, and that is a very different way than playing, say, the Yeet list with my normal dwarf list, where I can just know 100% that I can tank most things and just survive. Going up to this event where I knew there was loads of really good players, it was going to be a relatively tough one, and to be perfectly honest, I just kind of resigned myself to the fact that I was just going to go up there, get absolutely smashed for the weekend, drink loads of beer and just have a really fun time, and just probably not do that well. And I was quite resigned to that fact. I didn't really mind that at all. So I did actually start drinking at 11 o'clock on the Saturday morning while I was playing. As a true dwarf, that is the only way to play, right? Ale at 11 o'clock in the morning and then carry that on all day.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for attending our second GT in the Britannia Hotel in Newcastle. It means the absolute world that you've continued to support the event, and we'll continue to host them. So genuinely from all of us, thank you so much for attending. It's open battle to start with and finishes at 12, so enjoy, and again, thank you very much for coming.
My first game of the weekend was playing into Mop. Now, the annoying thing is I actually drove him up to the event. So we were in a car together for hours and hours, basically ribbing each other on how we're going to absolutely smash the other person. The problem is he was running a really, really magic missile heavy army, and all of my stuff was shooting. So we kind of come to the conclusion that whoever ducked their head out first was going to probably lose. It was quite a fun conversation on the way out, where basically we're both just saying we're going to absolutely smash the other person. And yeah, it was got a little tense before the game started, but as soon as the dice started rolling, we definitely started tearing chunks out of each other. In Mop's list, he has a Chaos Lord with shield, Mark of Chaos Undivided, on a Chaos Dragon with 2 favors of the gods. This is a pretty naked Chaos Dragon, but in this event, it was a 500 point limit on heroes. Next up, he has a Sorcerer Lord, level 4 Tzeentch with Infernal Puppet and Battle Magic. He then has a Sorcerer Lord, Mark of Tzeentch with a Spell Familiar and Battle Magic. He then has 16 Chaos Warriors with Hand Weapon Shields, Mark of Tzeentch, Taskmaster Scourge on the champion, and then the War Banner on that unit as well, as acting as a Wizard Bunker. He then has 6 Marauder Horsemen, 3 units of Chaos Warhounds, a Dragon Ogre Shartak, with the blackened plate just to try and stop those flaming damage, and then a warp fire dragon. This list is actually a lot scarier than you think it is. It's going to be zipping around and shooting loads of magic missiles out, and then basically the 2 dragons are just going to be there doing dragony things. This was a really fun game, and I hope you enjoy it. So we are going into round 1 of Forgotten North. I am paired into another Team England player, Jack Ward. Looking forward to the game, mate?
Yeah, man. Nice slugfest. I think we just need to spike, and then whoever spikes the best wins, right? Roll sixes.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a very interesting game. He's got lots of magic missiles. I've got absolutely loads of shooting. Whoever kind of ducks their head out of terrain first is probably the one that's going to get absolutely shot to shit. There's not that much terrain on the board, so this is going to be a very spicy game. I can't imagine there's going to be much left at the end of this at all.
Yeah, man. I think you said it all.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. For the first battle of the day, we are playing open battle. I have decided to put some artillery on this side, some gyrocopters in a line up here, then some more artillery covered by these rangers in skirmish here. Then we've got some more rangers guarding some more artillery, and then over here, some more gyros with my general over here in this corner. We are fighting today against the dirty warriors of chaos. So there is a Warfire Dragon here with a shower attack and then some dogs, and then a bunker that I'm going to have to try and bunker bust in a minute over here. The dragons are going to push forward and try and get in my face. He's going to try and save the easy points. Unfortunately for him, he's managed to get first turn, so he might have to push forwards into my range, which he potentially doesn't want to do. But does he waste a turn or does he push forward? I can see some ward saves getting put onto that unit, but probably not too much else this turn. So at the end of the first turn, I've kind of mooshed over this way a little bit. He has absolutely thrown his Chaos Warriors over this side. Still defended over here. All of the dogs have died. He threw 2 pillars through them. There's a little bit of tech to try and clear over here. Didn't actually manage to do many wounds to me. He did 1 wound to this cannon over here, but unfortunately he only did 1 wound to this gyrocopter here, but all of the dogs are now dead. There's 1 fleeing over here. I've kind of bunkered around this building to try and stop a bit of line of sight. I managed to do a couple of wounds to the Warfire Dragon, and basically just failed to kind of do anything meaningful to this Dragon Ogre over here. But unfortunately, I think after next turn, these Chaos Warriors over here are going to be slightly dead in the water as everything else starts to kind of pull away. So the battle's going to shift. It's going to come more to the center. So let's see how the next turn goes. Which was basically put his Lord here, Dragon Ogre there, and then the Warp Fire here to try and kill the Warp Fire of his own pillars and then destroy this line of gyrocopters. Now, it was a masterful plan, but unfortunately he didn't even need to use it, because when he used the Stone Thrower from the Warp Fire, it went back onto him, killing his own Warp Fire and killing 3 gyrocopters in the process. 4 gyrocopters in the process. The Droga's on 1 wound. The Chaos Lord has only got 3 wounds left. Over here, they might have to start moving up the board in a little bit. But let's smash through and see how we get on. Can the Chaos pull this back round? Terror ran off the board, which meant that the Dragon can charge into this organ gun over here. The Wizards pop around here to try and blast into my gun vein. These Gyros are going to absolutely peg it off in the final turn. And then down here, the Droga has managed to bat through and get into this cannon. There's not a lot left on either side now. It's looking quite equal pickings. I'm probably going to run away and conserve points. He's probably going to do the same. It's been a really, really close game, but it's probably looking like a draw right now. Very, very good game so far. So we have just finished the first game at Forgotten North. How did it go, mate?
Yeah, mate, I think I did top tier plays. Big brain. Especially that Warp Fire, like, shenanigans to try and actually interact with your gyros.
Yeah, it was quite fun. The problem with the gyros is it can be quite uninteractive. So if you don't have too much range, you can't really get to them. They're kind of zipping around you. But then he built a bridge for his pillars, which was really fun. Obviously, we've seen a lot of people doing that with dogs, but doing it through the Dragon Lord and then through the Warpfire to try and kill the Warpfire to blow them up.
Well, that was the plan. I didn't even need the pillars in here. I just stone throw it yourself and it worked.
It was kind of hilarious. It was an absolutely great game. Ended up being a draw, which was probably the best result we both could have asked for, really. So I always love a draw. Really good game, mate. Thank you.
Man. Thank you.
Cheers, man. So annoyingly, that game ended up being a draw. We basically tried to beat the crap out of each other and we killed so much stuff of the opponent's armies that it ended up just being a draw. He managed to claim all of my backline. I managed to kill most of his stuff apart from the big block with the sorcerers in. So yeah, it was a very bloody and very hard fought draw. which is probably the best result. I do enjoy draws, actually. And considering we drove up together, yeah, probably not the worst result, actually. So going into the next round, I got paired into Beastmen. This was a really interesting army because there was an absolute butt ton of chariots. Now in this mission, we had to basically try and hold table quarters with unit strength 10. My only units I had that unit strength 10 were my rangers, which were probably going to die quite quickly, and he only had a 10-man unit of gore, so we probably weren't going to be holding any objectives, so basically we were just going to try and beat the ever-living snot out of each other. I hadn't actually seen a full chariot army before, so just seeing that wave across the board was very interesting and quite scary. I think if I was just running a purely infantry army, I would have been absolutely cacking it. But I managed to jump around him, and there was a couple of key pivotal points where he failed Viletide. So I got relatively quite lucky in this game. In his list, he has a Beastman Shaman, level 4, with Hagtree Fetish, Talisman of Protection, Dark Art using Elementalism. A Great Bay Shaman with Brave Staff, Tuskor Chariot, Ruby Ring, Dark Heart, Plague Chalice and Elementalism. He then has a War Gore with Shield, Battle Standard Bearer, Razor Gore, Blackened Plate, Dark Heart and Uncanny Senses. In his core he has 10 Gore Herd, 3 Razor Gore in separate units and 3 Tuskor Chariots. He then has 3 Dragon Ogres with great weapons and then Razor Gore Chariots as well. This was so many chariots. It didn't actually seem that many when I was looking at the list, but when that was thundering towards you, it was, yeah, pretty scary actually. So Murray played that I think quite well. He tried to do it in 2 waves to try and catch me out if I brought any gyrocopters behind his first wave. I did manage to kill pretty much all of his stuff though, but he did manage to catch a bit of my backline. So going into the second game of the event, I am playing into Beastmen. He has got a million chariots over this side. He's got a couple of Viletide casters, but also some Drogers in the center. As you can see, there is a lot of thundering death that can come towards me. I have vanguarded up all of my gyrocopters up into the midboard, hopefully try to kill some of those sorcerers before they can start putting Viletides onto me. The artillery and the rangers at the back of the board. In this mission, you have to be unit strength 10 to be able to claim the objectives, so the rangers probably have got to try and survive. So I think the best bet for him would probably try and kill the rangers. So it's quite a big swing, but then also he doesn't have much scoring either. It should be a really good game. It's a stunning army to play into. Let's see if I can take his toys off the board and if he can take mine off as well. The end of turn 1 board state. These have marched up towards me. I've managed to kill a couple of things. A couple of the chariots died and a few of them are on a couple of wounds left. He's pushed forward. He's trying to kill me. He's also kept some models back to try and make sure that I jump over the back of him. I've got some gyros coming up this way, but he's also got his Viletide Wizards getting into range to try and zap me now. There are some Dragon Ogres coming up here trying to get into charge range, and then there is also a chariot on the hill trying to get line of sight to be able to smash my units of gyros. So I'm going to have to try and jump out of the way. Can the artillery get him, or do the Beastman going to smash in and destroy the Dowie? At the end of that turn, he is right up in my face. He managed to win combat here, but I just give ground with the biggie. And then there's some ogres right in front of my organ gun. I am going to try and shoot the ever-living crap out of them next turn. Over here, the second wave is coming up. I managed to deal a lot with the first wave. They're pretty much all dead now. The second wave is coming in. He miscast in the last turn, rolling a double 1, and couldn't cast any more spells. So I was quite lucky as there was no Viletide last turn. Can the gyrocopters deal with this second wave of utter primal fury? So at the end of that turn, he's managed to get the Dragon Ogre into me. Unfortunately, I managed to kill a few on stand and shoot, so he just didn't manage to win that combat. He only drew. Over here, we managed to kill one of the sorcerers, and then the Gores got into combat and managed to kill them. There's a Razor Gore Piggy little running away over here, but he does have the second wave of chariots moving up this way. I'm going to have to try and potentially do some trick shots with the cannons to try and deal with them. All of my gyros behind are going to start moving up. I need to deal with this wizard because that Vile Tide is causing a ruckus in the middle of the board. At the end of that turn, I've lined up all of the gyrocopters and absolutely cleared out this zone over here. Unfortunately, I couldn't kill the BSB. The toughness 5 and also just good saves on that just kept it alive. Over here, the Rangers kind of fluffed. I only managed to do 1 wound to this chariot, so they could potentially be getting killed in a second. This War Machine here has not long to live. But going into the next turn, I feel that I can get in and probably kill those 2 characters on chariots. So we have just finished the second round at the Forgotten North event. How'd the game go, mate?
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. I think I messed up in turn 1 and didn't jump straight across the board. I should have just jumped straight across the board instead of splitting my army into 2 halves. But learn, mate. Get good.
Yeah, no, it was a really good game. So basically the point of this mission was to try and get table quarters with unit strength 10. Neither of us really had that, so we were just trying to absolutely murder each other. It was a really good game. It was interesting to see a full chariot list. I don't think I've seen that before, actually.
Yeah, I think we'll make some changes. I don't think it's optimal to these missions, but I think that it could be good one day, I guess. I'd hope with a new book, but it's really fun to play. Really enjoyable to play, yeah.
Awesome, man. No, it was a great game. Thank you very much, mate.
Pleasure, thank you.
So the score in the end was 16-4. It was a really hard-fought victory. Very tense game. I think he played that exceptionally well, actually, considering that he didn't have any shooting apart from the Vile Tide, so I do think he played that exceptionally well. Going into the third game, this is against Connor with his Mortuary Cult. Now, Mortuary Cult are always kind of an issue, I think, at singles, just because if you don't have the right tech to be able to answer to them, they can just either force a draw, or if you try to engage with them too much, then suddenly you can just end up losing all of your toys and they get quite a big win against you. So there are some armies that are really good into these. Unfortunately, there's no army that I play that is amazingly good into Mortuary Cult. So I knew with this, I was going to have to try and rush him, kill the Ushabti, and then try to kill the Casket as well, or just sit back and have a really boring game. Now, I'd been drinking since 11 o'clock in the morning. I was not there for a boring game, so I just decided to absolutely bum rush him. So let's have a look at the list. In his list, he has a level 4 on foot with Ruby Ring Ruin, using illusion magic to try and stop you from moving. Then he has a Mortuary Cult Piss with the Amulet of the Serpent in Elementalism, basically to get the poison shooting. Then a Mortuary Priest level 2 with Lore Familiar and Elementalism. He then has the obligatory 4 Tomb Swarms, a 5-man unit of Ushabti, 30 Skeleton Archers, and then a couple of units of Skeleton Horse Archers. He then has a couple of Tomb Scorpions, another 4 Ushabti, a Necrosphinx, and then in rare, a Casket of Souls and another Necrosphinx. This is a relatively standard but very strong Mortuary Cult list, but adding in the Necrosphinxes did give me stuff to be able to shoot at, so this was points that I'd be able to collect. Playing against the Mortuary Cult armies that are mainly just a massive blob of skeletons and then your Ushabti are a lot hard for me to try and get points of. So seeing this list, I was like, right, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try and charge forward, kill the Necrosphinxes, try to kill some of the Ushabti, get around the back and then try and take out the Casket. He did have several very clever plays. It was a really, really hard game and a really fun one. This was a really good game. This is probably one of my favorite games into Mortuary Cult because normally they're relatively soul destroying. So it was quite good to have a bit of a change up. Or maybe that's because I'd consumed lots of ale. Who knows? So game 1, I'm playing into the dreaded Mortuary Cult. He's got the double Necrosphinx, the big blob, and the couple units of Ushabti. So he's going to try and shoot the crap out of me, and I'm going to try and probably shoot the crap out of him as well. I've kind of gone for a spread out deployment just because of all the Ushabti, got the artillery at the back, and he has kind of done like a castle defense in the center of the board. Can the gyrocopters push through, or will the Ushabti kill them all on the way in? So at the end of that turn, I pushed my gyrocopters up. Unfortunately, I did lose a unit of gyrocopters over here to the magic and the Ushabti. But as we go over this end of the board, I've managed to kill a Necrosphinx, killed one of the Ushabti. I mean, they're going to just be back in a second anyway, right? And then over here, absolutely massacred a load of skeleton horsemen. The cannons have been doing their job, but it's going to be interesting to see what the Ushabti go for in the next round. This Necrosphinx over here could be a little bit of a problem, but then again, the Ushabti are a problem as well. So we'll have to see how this goes in the next round. So at the end of that turn, I've pushed up inside him, managed to get the Ushabti into combat, and got myself on the back of my base to terrain so I can't get pushed back, so they are locked in there for good. This Necrosphinx has only taken 1 wound, so I'm going to have to try and pepper that next turn. Over here, you'll notice a lack of Abshabti. I've lost a couple more gyrocopters, but I'm managing to kill those Abshabti, mean that I can fly around a little bit safer anyway. The Casket of Souls, I'm definitely going to try and kill that next turn, but we'll see. I can just imagine he's going to try and absolutely smash out loads of my gyrocopters if he can get a chance. I am basically trying to line up shots that are going to be good for me in the next turn. But this is Tomb King, so we'll have to see what he can bring back and how annoying he can be in the next round. So at the end of that turn, there is a lot less stuff on the board. A lot less gyros, but also the Casket's gone. The Abshabti managed to win this combat, so they've turned around. I had to sacrifice charging into one of their flanks to be able to kill the Casket. I only killed it to the last wound. There's a net crucifix all the way down here. I failed to do any damage with the cannons, but hopefully I'll be able to kill it next turn. It is going to kill this down here. That's probably a lost cause, but hopefully get it next turn. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over in this corner over here. So we have literally just finished our game 3. How did it go, mate?
Went amazing. Went amazing. Absolutely amazing. Great opponent. 10-10. Absolutely amazing.
No, cheers, man. Yeah, so basically we ended up in a draw. Mortuary Cult's always a hard one to try and push through. If this was like a team event, I'd probably put this down as like a mega loss. So a draw is probably the best result I could ask for. It was a really good game, great opponent. Any standout moments for you?
It was when all the gyrocopters were just surrounded by forces, and somehow I pulled it out and made them all run away.
Bloody Abshabti. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
After this game, we ended up getting a 10-10 draw, which, looking back, I feel that I probably made a couple of mistakes in this game. I should have tied up the Abshabti by getting a flank and a rear charge with some gyrocopters. I ended up getting quite greedy in turn 4 and turn 5 by trying to kill more and more stuff while a unit of Abshabti was tied up, but they just managed to kill my gyrocopters. Toughness 4 with a 5-up save probably wasn't the best thing to put into them in combat, but I just wanted to tie them up from shooting because the shooting was absolutely decimating me. I was really happy to have killed all the big stuff, but unfortunately there was just a turn 5 swing for Connor where he absolutely managed to decimate most of my gyrocopters that were in his back line. He played that really well. It was a really fun game and an absolute gentleman. Going into round 4, I had a pretty heavy head because I'd been drinking all day on the Saturday and the event was held in a hotel. So basically we finished the event and then went straight to the bar, was drinking all night, and then yeah, I felt pretty rough on the Sunday morning, and yeah, playing against Wood Elves for the first game. So looking at all of that poison shooting across from me and the tree men and the dragon, I was like, right, this could be a little bit of a struggle. But Keith is an absolute gentleman and it was a really fun game. I feel that this is probably one of the funnest games I've had against Wood Elves actually. And yeah, it was a pretty bloody one actually. So let's have a quick look at his list. He has a Glade Lord on Forest Dragon with Great Weapon, Armour of Meteoric Iron, Talisman of Protection, Resplendence of Luminescence, and Annoyance of Netlings. Then has Shadow Dancer with the Spear of Loek, Befuddlement of Mischiefs, and a Spellweaver on Elven Steed, Wizard level 4, Elementalism, Oaken Stave, Ruby Ring of Ruin, Obsidian Lodestone, and then 15 Deepwood Scouts with Hagbane Tips, and then 5 Gladewood Guard with Hagbane Tips as well with the Lord's Bowman, and then 9 Gladewood Riders with Hagbane Tips, with Musician with Reserve Move, and then 8 Treekin and 7 Wild Riders with Shields. This is actually quite an imposing list when you're coming up against it, because all of the Treekin are going to be in a massive line hammer, and if they hit you, they're going to absolutely destroy stuff. And looking at all of that poison as well, I was a little bit scared for my gyrocopters' lives. Game 1 of day 2, I am playing into the dreaded Knife Ears. So unfortunately there was also a dragon, there's some scouts everywhere, Knife Ears of the Wood Elf variety. They have all castled in this corner. This is an objective mission, so they're going to push forward probably later on in the game to try and score points. I am sending the gyros forward. The Air Force is on a bombing run. I'm this side, so he can't target me of anything. So let's see if I can jump over and shoot the crap out of him, or he's going to run forward and shoot the crap out of me. I've vanguarded up all of these gyrocopters at the front. The Rangers are holding back here, and then I've got the War Machines just kind of chilling at the back in case he makes any mistakes and comes forward. The cannons are over here, and yeah, let's try and get some strafing shots of these Wood Elves. So at the end of that turn, I pushed up with the gyrocopters. I did get first turn, so I jumped up and shot the ever-living crap out of him. He then managed to kill a unit of gyrocopters over here. The dragon has pushed up here. Is a beautiful looking model. I'm going to try and kill it. I did a couple of wounds to it last turn with the cannons. Let's see if I can try and bang it out this turn. The Treekin have marched up in a line here, but I'm probably going to jump over them in the next turn. I've pinned the Wood Elves into this corner, so I'm going to jump behind and I'll shoot the ever-living crap out of them. Unfortunately, this dragon can only charge into this organ gun this turn. So what I'm going to try and do is try and do a sneaky play and get these rangers out of the charge range. They need to survive on 10 to be able to claim the objective at the end of the game. So that is going to be quite difficult, but let's see if we can do it. So at the end of the second turn, these have managed to TMP up here. The dragon failed its charge into this organ gun over here. I didn't get off the board, which I thought was bad, but probably good for me in the end. These are the last remnants of the actual Wood Elves. The gyrocopters managed to shoot the crap out of them, but unfortunately I managed to lose 2 units of gyrocopters in the last turn. But it's looking in favour of the Dowie at the moment. Let's see if they can carry on and beat the Dastardly Knife Ears. So at the end of that turn, the gyrocopters managed to finish off all of the Wood Elves over on this side. The Treekin are mooching up. There's a couple less, but they're going to get some charges off next turn. Over here, the dragon has managed to kill my organ gun, but he's only got 5 wounds left, so I'm going to try and bang him out this turn. We'll see if we can do it. Well, just got to roll 6s, right? The Rangers are going to have to get out of the way just in case it can't happen. But yeah, we're going to have to try and do some damage into these Treekin and also the dragon. So at the end of that turn, the Treekin failed their charge into this war machine down here. I managed to murder an absolute load of them with the gyros up on the hill. I baited him with a charge into the Rangers to try and keep the dragon out of action over here. So hopefully he kills the Rangers in my turn and then just kind of mooches around. I'm going to try and get out of all charge ranges, so hopefully he won't be able to do anything too meaningful in the next turn with that dragon. But then I'm going to try and kill all of these Treekin down here. So we have just finished the first game on the second day of the event. How did it go, mate?
I got hammered by gyrocopters.
Well, he was playing the Dirty Knife Ears, the Wood Elves. So normally against dwarves, they would just run away, but I managed to make you kind of run away, which was quite interesting.
You cornered me. You got first turn was pretty big. Just had swamped my back line, and all the elves were dead in 2 turns.
So basically the Treekin took a few turns to kill. The dragon was left alive on 1 wound remaining, so it swung the game from quite a big win just down to a 16-4.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. I mean, as I said, it looked like it was going to potentially be a 20-0, and yeah, dragon just alive on 1 wound, so yeah, I've got to be happy with that. I've got to take what I can from that. So.
100%. It was a great game, mate. Thank you very much.
It was a fun game, yeah.
Cheers, man. So in that game, I ended up getting first turn, which was absolutely massive. I managed to push up, get inside him, and managed to kill all of the normal elves in the first 2 turns, basically. So it was a really, really big swing for me. Being able to get inside him and picking my targets was so valuable in this game. I think he played it as well as he possibly could, but I feel that me getting first turn really swung it in my favor. It was a really good game. He's a really strong opponent. I just managed to get in there and I got some lucky rolls as well. But leaving the dragon on 1 wound remaining meant that it was only a 16-4 after I managed to kill basically everything else on the board. That was probably the best game I've ever had into Wood Elves, so probably more luck on my side than anything else. So after that, I hadn't actually lost the game out of 4, which was kind of pretty crazy because I'd expected to just get smashed at this weekend with the caliber of player that was there. For the final game, I was paired into Sam Toll. Now, he is an amazing player. He is actually playing for France at the moment in the WTC Online, so I knew that this was going to be quite a difficult game. He's also playing High Elves, so for the final 2 games of the event, I got to absolutely try and shoot the crap out of some bloody knife ears. There was definitely some grudges to be settled for the War of Vengeance here. Sam was running a Creation host list with a noble on Griffin with Dragon Helm, Talisman of Protection and Pure of Heart, a prince with Lance on Star Dragon with Seed of Rebirth, Armour of Calidor and Pure of Heart, an Archmage level 4 on foot with Lore Familiar, Pure of Heart and Elementalism, and then 3 units of Elven Archers, 21 One-Lions of Crace with the Guardian with the Lore Master's Cloak, Standard Bearer, and 10 Creation Woodsmen with a champion in there, and then the big block of 22 Sisters of Avalon. This was a really fun game and had to play it very tactically. I had to try and stop as much of his shooting hitting me, he had to try and stop as much of my shooting hitting him. It was a very tactical game. Basically, I had to try and rush him, but then limit all of the angles that he could shoot me. So going into the final round, we are playing the Battle for the Beard. All of my gyrocopters have vanguarded up and basically just kind of spread out across the board. I've got a lot of magical shooting because I'm going to be going into this nonsense. So this is a Creation list with Dragon and Griffin. He's got the Sister Star and also a load of Lions. So he's going to try and shoot the crap out of me, and I'm going to try and shoot the crap out of him as well. But he does have a dragon, so I might have to dodge that and just try and cannonball the crap out of it, I think. At the end of the turn 1, I've pushed up with all the gyrocopters. He tried to charge with the dragon, but then I ended up fleeing with 2 units, so he failed his charge, shooting the crap out of them, but unfortunately I didn't kill that many sisters. But next turn I'm going to absolutely smash in through them. So let's see if we can kill these. The gyros didn't get plinked that much, so hopefully they do the business in the next turn. So at the end of that turn, unfortunately, I had Earth and Ramparts off, which I just forgot about, so I kind of misplayed a little bit. So I sent in the Gyrocopters and charge into the Sisters, but I just didn't get any impact hits, and just only had one attack each, because that's the rules at this event, so I just didn't end up doing that much damage to them. So he managed to kill a whole unit of Gyrocopters that turn with the Griffin charging into the flank. All of this down here is still fine. There is a dragon coming over here to try and get my cannons and my general, which is my engineer, in the corner. But I'm going to try and pick up all of the Sisters this turn. Let's see if we can try and kill them all. So as you can see, there is a definite hole where the Sisters used to be. I do have to kill these lions over here, but everything else is scattered, so try and kill the monsters. I haven't done any wounds to the dragon over here yet. It's a little bit of a nightmare. I just can't deal with it. It's an absolute nightmare. Let's see if we can try and kill everything else. We have literally just finished the final game of the event. How did it go, man?
It was rough, fighting all them gyros, yeah. Lost everything but the dragon. Chased the dragon after the cannons, which is really the only points I could get, so...
Yeah. It's kind of a rough game, I think, but then with the dragon you can get those points, so you do end up conceding most of the back line. I think it was probably a relatively difficult game for either of us to try and table the other one, but it was a good game, man. It was really fun.
Yeah, really good game, yeah. Enjoyed it.
It's awesome.
It's fun to see them gyros for the first time.
Yeah, killed some knifers. Yes! It was a really bloody game. I managed to settle some grudges. The only thing that was left at the end of this game was his dragon, which basically killed an organ gun and then decided to run away. So that ended up with a 15-5. So this weekend I managed to not lose a single game, winning 3 of my games and then drawing 2 of them, which meant in the 20-0 system I actually managed to pick up 3rd place at this event with the Dwarves. So a 44-person event on the 20-0 system, managing to get a 3rd place. I was so happy with that. It was quite hard fought, to be perfectly honest, because there were so many of the meta armies there that are absolutely terrorizing the boards. I just want to say a special thank you to Scott and the rest of the team for Forgotten North. This was an absolutely amazing event, and I will definitely be trying to go to the ones in the future. For any of you that live up north or potentially in the Midlands, as south, it's a little bit of a trek. If you fancy going to a really well-run event where everyone is really, really sound, please go to it. It's absolutely brilliant. Another thing I'd like to say is I'm really proud of the rest of the members of Team England. Charlie Handley, our smiling assassin from Team England, managed to win the event with his vampire counts, and he only dropped 8 points across the entire weekend, which is absolutely mental. In second place we have Steve Toll with his Warriors of Chaos, not dropping a single game and winning all 5 of them, which was absolutely crazy. And then myself in 3rd. And then for the painting competition, Jack Ward with his Stunning Chaos managed to win Best Painted Miniature. And then channel sponsor Tom Carley managed to win Best Army with his John Blanchian-esque Beastmen, the Ooze Moose. Well done everybody, it was an amazing weekend for Team England. Thank you very much for watching at home, everybody. There will be a lot more videos on the way. Thank you so much to my channel members. I really appreciate all of the support. If anybody wants to become a channel member and support the channel, there is also a channel member Discord where we talk about everything Old World. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Rock and Stone.
Put that on YouTube.